Hi, welcome to the 2020 edition of Healthy Housing 101. My name is Jake Dishaw, the Director of Code Enforcement for the City of Syracuse, and we're coming to you virtually this year due to COVID-19. We're down on the near west side at 706 Tully Street at a house from the land bank that they've let us use to bring this video to you this year. During COVID-19, we're still providing all of the services that you need to maintain a healthy house. We're even offering virtual inspections for you if you're not comfortable with letting us in the home. But if you are, we are wearing masks and following proper safety and health procedures to keep you and your family safe. We'll be turning it over to our inspector, Dan Marobella, who will be walking you through some of the more common violations that you can find on the outside of your house and what you can look for if you're unsure, and who to call and what resources you have available to you before you rent or lease a home. Be sure to check out the available links associated with this video and the survey to give us the feedback so we can improve upon the services that we're providing to you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Dan Marobella. I'm a housing inspector for the City of Syracuse. Today I'm going to perform an exterior inspection over here at 706 Tully Street. Kind of educate everybody on what we're looking for as far as violations go. Typically we will identify a house by looking at the front, left, right, and rear sides. Today we're going to go ahead and start with the front side. Typically I like to start from the bottom, starting with the foundation. As you can see, there are some cracks and some slight damage on the bottom. We wouldn't necessarily tell a person how to correct a violation, but to repair or replace a violation. Moving on up, you can clearly see windows are cracked. We do have an attic window that actually is missing. We would write those up as repair, replace the item. We'll go ahead and start over here on the left side of the house. Looking at the stairs, you can see that the stairs will need a protective treatment. I would scrape and paint the stairs to kind of protect from the elements. You can kind of look at the stairs and you can kind of say, oh yeah, these look okay, but all stairs and railings and guards want to have some sort of weight-bearing soundness to it. You can kind of see they're loose. I wouldn't typically test the stairs. Typically, if I'm with an owner or tenant, I would have them kind of put their weight on it to make sure. Again, the rails and the guards, they look okay, but if you look over here, you can kind of see that it is loose. You would want to have that repaired or replaced. Also, the spacing of spindles for the protection of like children, they may play around this area and get their head stuck in there, so there's got to be correct spacing between spindles. Looking at the light fixture here, obviously that's broken off. You have exposed wires. That would be a hazard to the tenant or owner of the house. You definitely want to get that repaired, replaced, make sure it's functioning. Looking more over to the windows, you definitely have some missing screens on those openable windows. We would test for the window to be opened and closed and be held in place by proper hardware. So we'll go ahead and move over to the right side of the house here. You do see 706 on the house. Typically you want to have correct premises identification. You got to have contrasting numbers to the house so you kind of know where you are. Over here, again, you got another cracked window here, repair, replace. And then the screens you're going to want from May 15th to September 15th. Obviously, those are the big times for insects to come in and out of the house. Again, the porch, you kind of look at the porch and it says, okay, it looks fine. You would maybe want to walk up here, kind of test for weight bearing. The structural members are good. You kind of feel like it bounces up and down. You probably want to lift that carpet up and just kind of see what we got going on. But just by feeling it, I would definitely probably write it up as far as a violation goes. From there, we're going to go ahead and move on to the left side of the house. You can kind of see at the moment the grass is in pretty good shape, cut down to a correct level of 8 inches. We'll look for high weeds, anything that needs overgrowth or impedes the right of way as far as overgrowth goes. You do have some debris, trash that kind of definitely needs to be removed, could cause some sort of hazards with broken glass. Again, we're not just looking in one particular area, all around the premises. But again, moving around to the left side of the house, you do have a lot of trim and soffit damage up to the top. It does run on the second level of the porch too. It looks like there was some sort of action taken to correct it, but I wouldn't pass that because you do have points of entry for wildlife. You do have basement windows that do have boards on them. I'm looking to make sure they're weather tight. That does actually go for a good fix. Unfortunately, sometimes you get kind of just a crooked board put in there. Again, on the left side, every window looks like, I believe these are openable and closable windows, are missing screens. Just to repeat, May 15th to September 15th, you want to have those screens put in. You do have some missing windows. Repair, replace, we like to use for our corrective action. We don't like to tell people how to correct it, otherwise things can go awry that way. Moving along here, again, I'm looking at the foundation, looking for any cracks or damaged foundation. There's some parts I probably definitely would write it up because your foundation is going to be your support system for the whole house. As far as you do have a fence on the property that kind of is broken up, missing. This is something you may want to contact the permit department to make sure you need a permit to either repair, replace, or get corrected on the proper way. Moving along through the back, again, more trash and debris all the way through. I don't necessarily look at the house itself. I kind of look all around the house to see if I can find other violations. Next door neighbor does have some trash and debris. That's a new case. I would probably start up over there. From here, we're just going to move back to the rear and then kind of identify more violations for you. Moving on to the rear of the house, clearly you can see some damage to the siding facade here. The trim and the soffit up there definitely has some points of entry for wildlife, especially in the wintertime. You got to maintain a temperature of 68 degrees inside the house from September 15th to May 15th. Any temperature below that could definitely constitute the house unfit. So having those opens in the siding and trim can cause that. Again, back windows, you got them broken, you got them boarded up, but you got to make sure they're weather tight to kind of maintain that temperature reading. Over to the right here, you do have another broken fence. I would say repair, replace fencing, or remove the fencing. Again, pulling proper permits can kind of get you in the right direction on that. And again, over here, you got some more stairs with railings. I'm guessing just by looking at this, but I would have to take out measuring tape that this spacing is off on the handrails. Again, not really sound safe. You got to have it weight bearing. You put your hand on that, you could fall right over to the side. Stairs are in rough shape, could be definitely a hazard for someone coming in and out. Anything over 4 risers will need a handrail. After that, you kind of can go based on what you kind of feel necessary for the house. Rear door is boarded up. What we're looking for in doors and frames, make sure they're weather tight. I like to look inside the house. I look along the opening of the door. Any daylight that comes through, I would kind of use weatherized door as a corrective action for that. That's more of an interior inspection, but we'll definitely probably identify that once we go inside the house. You do have some trim missing right here. Repair, replace would be a good kind of indication of what you need to do there. Again, always looking at that foundation. Window looks okay. Again, probably the missing screen on there. I'm guessing that may be an upstairs bathroom. I wouldn't know unless I got inside the house. Anytime you have a bathroom, you want to have proper ventilation in it to make sure there's no mold that can gather. A window or some sort of ventilation fan. We'll make sure that's good to go. Look in the backyard as far, again, trash and debris you do have around definitely could be a hazard to anyone that may come back here. Grass and overgrowth looks okay. From there, chipping paint, definitely want chipping, flaking, abraded paint, scraped, repainted. Make sure there's protective treatment from the elements on the house. We could kind of move over to the right side of the house over here. Looking right off the bat, again, trim and soffit damage. A lot of chipping paint around the trim of the windows. You're looking at decorative features as well as the condition of the windows. Big in the wintertime in Syracuse because we do get that snow. We all know it's coming. As far as the rear goes, there's a number of violations that I would definitely write up. We would give them, depending on the violation, 5, 15 days to get them corrected. From there, Omar, I believe, will actually give you the interior inspection.
Thank you for tuning in to the exterior inspection edition of Healthy Housing 101. Hopefully you were able to learn a little bit about what we look for and what you can do to keep a healthy house. We'll be shooting other series of this video to bring you more information about permitting and the interior, so be sure to check out the resources that are coming to you and available websites and phone numbers so you can reach us if you need something.